Good morning again, West Rocks. We should all be in homeroom. Took me a minute just to make sure. It is now 11:17. We are here for the remainder of the enrichment period. Hopefully your day is going well as we approach this Memorial Day weekend. It's great to hear our band practicing. They are getting better every single day. So good luck to them on Memorial Day on Monday, marching and representing West Rocks. Hopefully they continue to get better, and I know they're going to do great. So if you have plans or don't have plans rather and want to go out and support, they will be marching in the Memorial Day parade. Now down to business. Today you are in homeroom, and the reason is we are going to start to collect information on the condition of our devices across the building. In the beginning of the year, every student and every staff member received a Verizon Chromebook, brand new with a data plan. We're not collecting the device today. We are not taking them from you. What we are doing is gathering information and data and giving you this information so you can be proactive in the next 3 weeks before we do collect them, which will be a day before the end of the year. Again, we're giving you information. You're going to give us information. Homeroom teachers are going to gather that on a spreadsheet that we're going to talk about the how in just a second. But that's the purpose of today. And it doesn't have to be done at the end of today. You have the homeroom teachers will have another week or so to do that. Dr. Kreines will talk about that in just a second. So throughout this year, we've learned and worked with the idea of digital citizenship. And in addition to making good ethical decisions online, social media-wise, it also refers to device care. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android, if you drop it in a puddle of water, it's not going to work. Maybe you rescue it, you put it in rice, but bottom line is you are not going to have a device anymore. You're going to the Verizon store, you're going to go to T-Mobile, whatever you got, and you are going to have to you're going to have to buy a new phone if you have warranty, if you don't. Same goes for our Chromebooks, right? You were given one. We need to take care of it. And at this point, we need to repair if necessary. So first, a couple of things to think about for teachers and for students. Do you have a device? You got one. Do you still have it? Is it the same device that was assigned to you? Again, Dr. Kreines is going to walk us through all those, just things to think about. Is it the same device that was assigned to you? Because we have a way to track that. And what condition is that Chromebook? And Dr. Kreines is going to talk specifically about what that is, how you kind of rate it, and teachers are going to kind of give an estimate once you see it. And do you have a charger? And again, we're going to go through that spreadsheet in just a second. Those are 3 big questions in your mind. Now you say, well, what if some of my Chromebook broke? Well, let's take a look. This was sent out to families earlier in the year as part of a Verizon agreement. Let's take a look at our prices. So nobody got an iPad, so you can disregard the second one. But I'm just going to kind of go down to the bottom, that list of prices. Full replacement Chromebook. That means you don't have one anymore, or the one that was given to you. You have somebody else's. We're going to be able to track that too. If you don't have your own and you didn't put it in for a ticket, you just lost it. That's $300. Power cord. That's our charger. Again, we don't have iPads. We have $55. You don't have a charger, $55. Keyboard. If your keyboard is broken, and again, we'll have to determine number of keys, what that means, how bad it is. But basically, the keyboard itself costs $60. You got a cracked screen. Doesn't work. And remember, Verizon is a touch screen. There's a whole point. There's a purpose to that. That's a nice one. $130. The trackpad, and correct me if I'm wrong later, Dr. Kreines, but I believe that's the touchpad where that is in the computer. That's $25 if that's damaged, worn, doesn't work. The motherboard, I do not believe is applicable to us. It could be a different device. However, Dr. Kreines will correct me if I'm incorrect. What you're also going to hear him say, and we're going to say it twice and 3 times just so you are clear. Your teachers are going to go around the room starting today and check to see and fill out this spreadsheet on whether you have one, whether you don't, charger, and they're going to believe you for now. But ultimately, it's going to come out at the end, the day or days we're collecting, whether or not you do or don't. And this is what you're going to be left with. You have a small window of time between now and when we collect to address any broken issues through the ticketing system so you don't have to pay for it. This is your price at the end if this is how it's turned in. If you're able to use our ticket system with your homeroom teacher and we submit a ticket and get it fixed, then you will not be stuck with this cost at the end when you turn it in. If any of this is broken, I would take advantage of that time so you can submit a ticket with your homeroom teacher in order to address it. If you lost it, you lost it. Sorry. If you lost a charger, you lost a charger. And finally, this is special to 8th grade. All of these need to be reconciled. That means all of this needs to be paid for or turned in or addressed in order to participate in promotion on the 15th. All of this needs to be addressed. Chromebook needs to be in, charger, in order to participate in promotion on the 15th. We'll talk more about it. At this point, I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. Oh, you can hear the band. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna mute myself, take me out, and I'm gonna put Dr. Kreines in.
All right, thanks, Dr. Reynolds. Hello, West Rocks. So just to reiterate a couple of things that Dr. Reynolds said, we're basically looking for the students to tell us and for teachers to record a few very basic pieces of information about their device status at this point. We're looking for what identifying information is on your device. So hopefully it's the same one that you were assigned and issued early in the school year. That's probably an asset ID, and it might be a serial number, and I'll explain how to look for those in a minute. We're looking for maybe whether or not you have someone else's device that was originally assigned to them, and that's possible. It's happened several times this year. It's not ideal, but it happens. And finally, we're looking for what kind of condition is the device in, and do you still have a charger? So those are really the pieces of information we want to track. And just to answer Dr. Reynolds' question, yes, the trackpad is basically the mouse on a laptop, or in this case, the Chromebook. It's the area down below the keyboard where you can move your fingers to actually move the mouse on the screen. Let me show you a couple of things that'll be really important to making sure that this information gets collected the right way. So for teachers, first and foremost, use either the digital version or the hard copy that I left in your mailboxes of the spreadsheet. If a student's asset ID looks fine, it's the same one they were given to begin the year, just simply put a check. If they have another device that is the one that wasn't assigned to them earlier in the year, just write down that information in the column that says other device. And then finally, and I think there's a little bit of a difference between the instructions that I gave and the spreadsheet that you can see. Just for device condition, poor, good, or missing, poor, or good. If the student does not have a device, that's obviously missing. If the device is in need of repair, there are keys missing, there's a crack in the screen, there's significant damage to like the shell or the case of the device, then that would be marked as poor. And that's what Dr. Reynolds was explaining a minute ago, should be addressed over the next week or two by putting in a ticket and hopefully getting that device repaired prior to the student actually turning it in at the end of the year. A device that's in good condition is no repair, okay? So it's either it's missing, it needs repair, or it's good and it doesn't need repair. And that student, if we were collecting today, which we're not, then that device is ready to be collected today, basically. For students, I do need to explain a couple of things, because when we gave these devices out, there's a sticker that had the asset ID number. There's a very good chance that that sticker has gone missing off of your device, or as you can see here, the number may have been rubbed off of it. That's okay. Now, if the number is still on there, that's great. Just read off the number that's still on the sticker on the back of the Chromebook. But if the number has been rubbed off, or if the sticker has come off, there are ways to check and to make sure of your asset ID or serial number. So what you want to do is you want to be on this screen. This is the sign-on screen. You cannot access this information if you are signed into your Chromebook. So if you are signed into your Chromebook, go down to the lower right-hand corner where all the settings are, click that, and then click Sign Out so that you can see this screen where it would normally ask you for your password. Once you, I'm giving you a few seconds to do that. So make sure, students, that you are signed out of your device. If you need to check in the device for the asset ID number, sign out first, and then from this screen, hold the Alt key, which is the one right next to the space bar, and press V. And I don't know if you noticed, yep, there are the instructions there. If you can see that, I know the reflection is kind of bad. I'm trying to hold it at an angle. Some numbers, a bunch of numbers popped up in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. The one underneath everything that says Asset ID is really the one that we're looking for. That's the best one that we can use to identify the device you have. If for some reason your device does not have an Asset ID, and I don't expect this to be the case with very many students, but if your device does not have an asset ID, just look at the number right all the way in the right-hand corner that says SN for serial number. So best case scenario is that number still exists on the sticker on the back of the device. Worst case scenario is from the sign-on screen on your device, when you're about to sign into the computer and put in your password, don't actually sign in, but hit Alt and then V on your keyboard, and that's where you can find the information.
Okay, I sent those earlier to all teachers and all staff. So if you were unable to follow exactly, you can refer back to that same. I was just sharing the same document that I sent out earlier today, so you can refer back to it. Ultimately, a couple things that I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with before we sign off, and you have the remainder of this time to get started on that. One, homeroom teachers, you have that spreadsheet, in the hard copy of a spreadsheet that was put in your mailbox. The job and the task is to complete that spreadsheet based on what Dr. Kreines just said, serial number verifying that the serial numbers are there with the condition. Purpose of that, two things. One, that allows us and you and the student to put in any tickets now in order to save everybody money later on, and we can get it fixed and addressed with our funding and with everything that we need to. Before, at the end of the year, they turn it in broken and then it becomes a charge on the student. So you need to fill that out. Homeroom teachers fill out that spreadsheet by the end of next week. June 3rd, we're looking for that. Am I correct in that, Dr. Kreines?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so by June 3rd, please make sure. So that gives us some time in the morning in homeroom. We're going to go back tomorrow to homeroom as well for our digital citizenship and our raffle, our SBAC raffle. There's also time throughout, and we'll pull a day or two next week if we need to come back to homeroom during enrichment so we can continue on this before the end of the week. It's really important information, obviously, because we are collecting all devices, refurbishing, doing what we need to, so then we can reissue when students return in the fall. So this is all really important information. By next week, spreadsheet is done. Students, if you aren't sure about a charger, if you're not sure if you have it, start looking for it, bring it in, and get everything addressed and those tickets with your homeroom teachers prior to the end of next week, so you are not left having to pay for everything yourself, especially if it's accidental damage. If you did it yourself, you threw it down, you did something that you shouldn't have done, that's going to be your responsibility and your family's responsibility. But if it's accidental, just wear and tear, we'll be able to do it through the tickets. The other piece, those 8th graders especially, it is really important that if you want to participate in promotion, this is all done prior to next week, and we'll talk about that again at that time. And next Wednesday, we're going to get together and talk more specifically about promotion, dress, attire, time, tickets, all that good stuff. So next Wednesday. So 8th graders, just make sure this is done ASAP, and teachers. With that, if you have any questions, I mean, we're already at 11:32, so we're going to end in about in a few minutes, about 7 minutes or 8 minutes or so. If you have any questions and you want to either jot them down, send a quick email of homeroom teachers to me and or Dr. Kreines, we can kind of put all those together. And if we can push out some answers and responses tomorrow when we come back, and just kind of take it day by day to make sure this is effective and we get all the important information and your questions answered, that would be helpful. So a quick little email to either me or Dr. Kreines, and then we can take it from there. Anything else we want to leave them with, Dr. Kreines?
The one final piece of advice that I wanted to give students is please be honest, especially if you don't have your original device. If you have someone else's, just let us know, okay? Actually report that asset ID number to your teacher. But if you really don't have a device at all, there is a column on the spreadsheet for missing, to report it as missing. Don't take someone else's, please. That actually will complicate this process a lot. If you absolutely don't have one, you may have not had one for a while, you're not sure where it is, maybe it's lost at home, please go look for it and see if you can find it. But whatever you do, don't take a device that you're not sure that it's yours.
Yeah, just to your point, it's going to come out, and somebody else might have your, just be honest, because if we have some in repair, if we have something that got lost, and we have a couple either in the office or downstairs, one of those could be yours. So if you say missing, and all of a sudden that serial number pops up, you're good because we have it accounted for, and there's no further action. So just to underscore what Dr. Kreines said, thank you so much, and be honest. Do the best you can. If there's any questions, just take them all down and we'll answer it one by one, and then we can share it out with faculty. And if we need to jump on quickly tomorrow to address some as a whole group, we can do that too. So we got about 5+ minutes left. If you want to start this process, that's fine. And if not, just start making a list of at least what you're going to start doing tomorrow, how many people have chargers, who needs to go home and look for them, anybody have a missing one, why. You can start a general conversation and get any questions from your homeroom. And we'll pick it up. And again, next week, next Friday. With that, have a great day. And we pass in about 5 minutes.